Hey guys, we have a new moon in Capricorn to talk about today. The sun and the moon aligning in the sign of Capricorn. This is our last new moon cycle of this 2022 calendar year. We're drawing the 2022 vibes to an end. We actually have some interesting 222 numerology to talk about in the context of this Capricorn new moon cycle that is upon us today as well. But here we are, sun and the moon aligning together in the sign of Capricorn, giving us a new cycle of growth that's going to be unfolding throughout the course of the next month. This is a very powerful new moon, you guys. I really recommend setting your intentions, making your goals, spending some time thinking about what you want to grow and develop throughout the course of the next year. You know, the New Year's resolutions, I would do them early this year because Mercury is actually going to be going retrograde on the 29th of December. We're going to start this new calendar year with Mercury retrograde. So now, you guys, the new moon in Capricorn, this is the time to set the intentions, to make the goals, to make the plans, to write the blueprints, to create the vision board. And what we are focusing our energy on, the goals that we are pursuing, and the various ways that we are trying to improve ourselves as well over the course of this next couple weeks and leading into this next 2023 year are going to be very supported if we take advantage of this period of time right now that is really providing a great window period to manifest some goals, to manifest some dreams, and to really start moving in a positive direction. We are in a very active phase of the year right now. I've been talking about this over my past couple of reports. I feel like actually those two, Jupiter moving into Aries and then also the solstice energy, we're kind of like feeding into this new moon report. We're going to be talking about a lot of the same themes, but we have come to the end of the sort of letting bygones be bygones period of time and being more like going with the flow of things, letting things kind of roll off of our back. The energy that is coming through now is likely to really be inspiring us, motivating us, lighting a fire underneath us to do something, to take some kind of action. This is like I said, this is a cardinal cycle, okay? Cardinal cycles, Cancer, Capricorn, Aries, and Libra. These are the cardinal phases of the year. Cardinal energy is action-oriented energy. It initiates things. Things are happening. It's active when we have cardinal signs and cardinal new moon cycles specifically taking place. This is one of those. So it's generally, I mean, the Capricorn cycle is always a more active time of year when things are more likely to be happening, you know, and this is also, of course, when we make our New Year's resolutions usually as well, and when we're sort of geared towards taking action, Capricorn, to be more responsible or to set ourselves up for success in some type of a way. So, you know, usually this is kind of where we're more geared towards at this time of year. However, this year, in the context of this Capricorn cycle and this cardinal season that we're heading into, we also have some other really big things going on, like a square to Jupiter that is creating like an even so much more enhanced level of this action-oriented energy, okay? And we're gonna talk so much about this aspect. We've been talking about this aspect. We're gonna talk more about this aspect as we get through this report. But I kind of want to start also by bringing up this strong sense of polarity that I'm also sort of sensing is kind of rooted in and going to be unfolding throughout the course of this cycle as well. We're really being given a choice the way I see it. We're gonna be being gifted with very, I think, expanded levels of energy and sort of like life force that's flowing through us. And it's going to be our choice whether we are harnessing and using that energy for constructive purposes along the lines of working towards our goals and being motivated towards self-improvement, or whether we are going to allow sort of our fears to overpower and control the creative impulse and, you know, let the energy turn more in on itself and have a more destructive tendency. So we're kind of sitting between two polarities this cycle, with Mars also retrograde in the sign of Gemini, ruling the position of Jupiter, who is in a square to the sun and the moon for the new moon, which is one of the things that we're going to be talking about. This is bringing up and indicating polarities. We are also in a black moon, new moon cycle. That is because the black moon, which rules our shadow sides and our insecurities and our fears and our worries and our doubts, is currently in the sign of Cancer. Whenever the moon goes into the sign where the black moon is currently located, or the sign opposing the black moon, it activates and triggers the black moon energy. The moon rules our emotions. And so whenever our emotions specifically are making a contact to that black moon energy, it can kind of like pull us down into the underworld of our own psyche, and we can be a lot more triggered along the lines of our fears, our worries, our insecurities, our doubts. And in the sign of Cancer, where the black moon has been transiting throughout the course of the past 9 months, this can have a lot to do with our sense of security and well-being and ability to care for and nurture ourselves and others. It has to do with how we're appreciated, how we're supported, how we fit into the community and the group, what our contribution is, how we can become successful in the world as well. It's the black moon works in polarity. So when we have the black moon in the sign of Cancer, it's also activating the Capricorn energy. And this is a new moon in Capricorn cycle. Capricorn is the oppositional sign to Cancer, where the black moon is located. So the new moon with the moon in the sign of Capricorn is going to inherently be giving us a black moon lunar cycle all month long. So, and this is not the first one of these we've had this year, you guys. The black moon actually was a very relevant theme, especially back in like the early summer and moving into the summer. I believe like June and July, we had a lot of real black moon energy that we were navigating as well. But now here it is for our last month of 2022, back again. However, like I was saying, there is this like balance or this polarity, this like these oppositional forces, these oppositional choices or alternatives that are playing out this cycle. And that we do have this black moon. And the black moon is also right now, you guys, I should say, in nearly an exact opposition to Pluto as well. This is, are we going to let our fears overpower us, and are we going to like surrender our personal power to the fears and the insecurities and the worries and the doubts and let them control us? Or are we going to take our power back, and are we going to overcome these fears, worries, insecurities, and doubts and no longer be a victim to them? These are also the ways that this energy can go with Pluto and the black moon, the god and the goddess of the underworld, sitting in polar opposition with each other right now as well. And also, you guys, Pluto is currently at the natal USA return degree, where Pluto was located when the United States was formed. So this is actually a kind of a revolutionary degree in and of itself. And I feel like on, one hand, this is putting us in a position where we are likely to have some fears or some darkness that is triggered throughout the course of this cycle. But it's in the context of what's the choice that we are we going to make? Are we going to overcome our fears and take back our power? Or are we going to surrender our power and let our fears control us? And that is going to really play in, I feel like, to what I just got done talking about, and how we are using this energy throughout the course of this cycle, whether we're using it, whether we're channeling the energy in a constructive way, or whether we are channeling the energy in a destructive way, whether we are coming from a place of faith, or whether we are coming from a place of fear, whether we're coming from a place of inspiration, or whether we are coming from a place of anger. Because there are very strong likelihood and tendencies for both sides of this coin to be working out simultaneously to each other over the course of the cycle. However, I will also say that there are symbolic indications coming through that despite the presence of the darkness, it does not overpower or outweigh the light. There's like it's sort of like 3 against 2 or 3 against 1. There's a much stronger weight on the side of the light. Because remember, while we do have this black moon cycle that is coming in right now, and the black moon and Pluto in opposition to each other for this black moon cycle, we also have our 3 primary significant luminaries making aspect as well. Jupiter in the sign of Aries, forming the exact square, which is, ruled by Mars, which is a sign of the warrior, which is in this exact square to the sun and the moon. So we have the sun and the moon coming together, both of our luminaries, both of our light sources, in an exact aspect, almost 1 degree off, to Jupiter, the brightest star, the great benefic. So we've got lots of light and lots of brightness going on, and lots of inspiration and lots of ability to like transcend and overcome this simultaneous darker side of things or more ugly side of things that could be presenting at this time as well. So, on one hand, darkness and destructions, war drums perhaps, shadows, fear, and doubts. On the other hand, naked truth and elevated perspective, unlimited energy and potential for creation and success. This is where we're sort of oscillating back and forth between. And it's like, what are we going to become a vessel of creation for? The creative force or the destructive force? The source of light or the darkness, okay? But like I said, we will withstand. We may take some hits over this period of time, or we may feel like we've taken some hits lately, but we're definitely withstanding. We're going to live to fight another day. And like I said, it's our choice. Will we conquer our fears and surge ahead, creating this new and improved life for ourselves? That is really supported. That is the higher octave, the positive octave of this energy. Or will we let our fears and past limitations control us and act out and project out of like anger and resentment and bitterness, and allow like ourselves that way to be on the more negative end and spectrum of things. So people are going to be fired up this cycle, you guys. It's a cardinal cycle. It's an action-oriented cycle without this cardinal square going on. And not only is it a cardinal square, I mean, we have the sun at 2 degrees, 1 degree, and I don't even know if I said that. The sun is at the new moon itself, you guys, is at 1 degree and 32 minutes of the sign of Capricorn. I read the Sabian symbols, and when we read the Sabian symbols, we round up a degree because we look at the incoming wave of energy, not the energy that's pulling out. And so I'm actually going to be looking at 2 degrees of the sign of Capricorn in terms of the symbolic representation of where our new moon is occurring. So we will go back to that in a minute. But the reason I was talking about that is because, 2 degrees of Capricorn right now, Jupiter is at 1 degree of Aries in terms of the Sabian symbols, but actually at 0 degrees of Aries. And this is a critical degree, you guys. This is like the first degree of Aries holds so much like energy and potential, and it's just like the storehouse of this like explosive like fuse ignition type of force. Jupiter is the planet of expansion. It supersizes things. It's hope, trust, faith, optimism. It's the truth. It's our beliefs. It's good fortune. It's luck. It's success. Mars and Aries, you guys. Aries is a sign ruled by Mars, a sign of the divine masculine. It's the warrior spirit, but Mars also rules war. And Jupiter also, it expands things. It has no boundaries. It takes things over the top. This can be a really good thing, but taken too far, it can work to its own detriment. And so this has a tendency, and this is setting us up for, again, like this polarity of energy. On one hand, this expanded potential for war and conflict and fighting as this masculine energy is expanded within all of us, really. But on the other hand, it's also this inspiration and this passion and this, like moral authority as well. Jupiter rules our morals and our philosophies and like our integrity and seeing a higher perspective and seeing a bird's eye view and doing the right thing. So in Mars right now, ruling the sign of Aries is in Gemini, retrograde. This is options, choices, decisions, polarities, ideas, communication, research, data, what we're talking about, what we're thinking about, what we're learning, news, ideas. Retrograde, things from the past. We could be addressing a lot of grievances from the past over the course of this Capricorn cycle. I do feel like there's also going to be, just because of this dynamic, a greater emphasis on men and masculine energy. And I feel like it's going to be, I feel like it's going to start to transition to be viewed throughout the course of this year in a more positive light. I said in one of my other videos, I feel like the masculine energy generally is going to go from being more like persecuted and repressed to celebrated and appreciated. Again, we're in a month of polarities as well. There is going to be a lot of destruction, like I said, and fighting and an inability to like control our temper and anger and rage, just taking people and impulsive actions and rashness and not thinking things through and making real poor choices and, violence. And like I said, destruction. But on the other hand, It is this warrior spirit. It is this divine masculine energy. It is the protector. It is the defender. It is the provider. It is the supporter. It is this drive and ambition and passion to do what's right, to fight for truth, to fight for freedom. With Mars in the sign of Gemini, these are going to be major themes throughout the entire Capricorn cycle. People on a personal quest to fight for truth, to fight for, and the freedom of thought, the freedom of speech, the freedom of like ideas and movement as well. This is something that people are going to be very fired up and motivated to make their own personal mission as we go throughout this period of time. So, we're being given a lot of energy to act and work towards our goals. That's really another way that this energy is playing out. We're talking about a Capricorn cycle. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. This is all about discipline and control and structure and form, laying foundations, focus and concentration and control, and making the square to Jupiter in the sign of Aries. This is a tremendous ability to focus some supersized energy to really, I've been saying this as well, like move some mountains, or we can make our dreams come true. We can really accomplish our goals in a way that is going to be long lasting, enduring, and successful in the end. It is going to require a level of strategy with Capricorn involved this cycle. Like, this is not instant manifestation energy. However, it is supported for long-term success if we are doing things right, if we are doing things according to a plan, and if we are, even our risks are very supported at this period of time as well. The risks that we're taking now, new ventures, anything that we're starting new, starting fresh, it's going to have a positive and productive outcome. However, what we do need to keep in mind, like I said, Mercury will also be going retrograde in the end of December. So there's going to definitely be a period of revision, adaptation, and adjustment that needs to go on in terms of whatever it is that we're feeling inspired to do and to work towards now. This is definitely a cycle about self-improvement with Capricorn and Aries, the sun, moon, Jupiter going on, putting our energy into bettering ourselves, even in small ways or in bigger ways. It could be sweeping ways, or they could be like more focused and like more like narrowly defined ways. But any attempts that we can make to channel our energy into doing something, creating something, forming something, restructuring something, relearning, readapting in some type of a way to make ourselves better, or to readjust our lifestyle as well, or just specifically though things having to do with the self. We're talking about Jupiter in the sign of Aries. Aries is the sign of the self. This is expanding into this new version of ourselves that we've created as well. This is also us really sort of re-identifying with ourselves after what's probably been a period, this past year, perhaps even this past couple years, where we have had a lot of our aspects of our old world and our old self and our old paradigm really begin to like dissolve and fall away, or suddenly be sort of like yanked out from under our feet, like the ground underneath of our feet sort of just like crumbling. This is also the cycle with all of this cardinal energy and this Capricorn new moon, Jupiter, 0 degrees of Aries dynamic that we have going on, where we are picking up the pieces, and we've sort of been, again, like going through this process of recreating ourselves out of the ashes of perhaps what burnt down over this past period of time. And this is like the Phoenix cycle. Like, this is the cycle where we are being rebirthed out of the ashes, and we're ready to like take off and soar to new heights and to go in this new direction. We're stepping into the embodiment of the changes that have been brewing under the surface over this past year. And moving into this 2023 energy, I really do feel like this is going to be a year of self-improvement, a year where we are very focused on working towards our goals and bettering ourselves and becoming more independent and more resourceful and more self-reliant in a lot of ways as well. And I feel like we're going to be recognizing our power more, recognizing our value more, and feeling less reliant upon perhaps the external structures and matrices of the past that we may have previously really needed for various types of support and validation. I think we're moving on from that now, and I feel like at this point in time we are really about to start becoming who it's like we've been kind of discovering ourselves to be and maybe like sort of training to be over this past period of time. Let's talk specifically a little bit about degree placements now and, get a little bit deeper into this aspect. This new moon, like I said, according to Sabian symbol placement, happening at 2 degrees of the sign of Capricorn. We also have Saturn ruling this new moon. Saturn's the ruler of Capricorn, so Saturn's ruling the new moon at 22 degrees of Aquarius right now. So 2 degrees of Capricorn for the sun and the moon, 22 degrees of Aquarius. We have some of these 222 digits coming through. So, I've been saying throughout the course of this 222 year, whenever we've been seeing a lot of 222s imprinting in the numerology of the astrology on any given day, I've been noticing that there have a tendency of being some more significant aspects going on generally that are like playing a larger role or a more significant role in our overall collective transition into the age of Aquarius in terms of certain activations happening at key points in time and stuff like that. So I feel like this 222 energy has been presenting in charts in various ways in various days has also been significant. But the Sabian symbol of 2 degrees of Capricorn, where this new moon itself is occurring, is 3 stained glass windows, 1 damaged by war, and then 22 Aquarius, where Saturn is right now, is a rug placed on the floor for children to play. So the stage has been set, like things are in place, everything's ready, and we may feel like we've taken some hits lately, right? Like we may not be in perfect form after maybe what we've been through this past couple of years. We may be feeling like the wounded warrior a little bit, but we're still standing, we're still intact, we're persisting, we're going on, and we're about to be re-inspired over the course of this Capricorn cycle to really like surge ahead and to take back what's ours in a lot of ways, to fight for what we believe in. The new moon in Capricorn, like I said, this is almost in that exact square to Aries, this cardinal square, energizing us to take action, to work towards self-improvement and manifesting our goals. That really is like what everything I feel like is boiling down to at this point in time. Jupiter is expansion. The sun is our life force energy. The moon, this is like our soul and our emotions and our feelings. When we have these in this square aspect together like this, it's just this expanded... It's like fueling our process of growth, okay? And then Capricorn, of course, the sign of goals, structures, forms. Aries, where Jupiter is, forging ahead, taking action, going in a new direction, courage, motivation, inspiration. We're fearless, we're taking risks, we're launching forward, we're trying something new, and we are not letting our fears hold us back. So that's really where this like interesting juxtaposition of energy comes in, because on one hand, it's like there's this energy that's reaching out, trying to grab a hold of our shadows and pull us back down into like the depths of our past and, the bondage of our fears and the previous limitations and the doubt and all of that. But on the other hand, there's this like illuminating force that is lighting and igniting within us, that is just like dispelling these shadows and helping us to like break these chains and break free and just get ready to begin moving in this entirely new direction towards this process of self-actualization and growth that is being activated right now. I feel like through universe sort of like nudging us or urging us or coaching us towards self-improvement and working towards certain goals in various aspects of our lives. This cycle is absolutely about like getting our stuff together, making some things happen. We're going to be feeling it. Like it's going to probably be, and as it gets started, it may be like something is just sort of like percolating within us and we like can't let it rest, or we just like are feeling this urge rise within us, or maybe we're just feeling more inspired and alive and awake than we have in a long period of time. This is definitely though a resurgence of life force energy after what could have been a long time of a more dormant experience of this same energy. It could also bring up conflict, this new moon, this period of time, between youth and authority, okay? Mars, Aries, Jupiter in the sign of Aries. Aries, this is the youthful energy. This is that warrior spirit energy. It's the more like juvenile energy. And then we're talking about Capricorn. This is the boss. This is the authority. This is the long-standing orders and regulators and controllers. So it's the warrior spirit versus the control system. That is another thing that is playing out this cycle, and we are likely to see on a macrocosm level, on a world stage, a lot of protests, a lot of war drums as well, and people fighting back against oppressive like governmental systems and stuff like that. That's all I'm going to say about it. But it's likely something that is very it's just very indicated at this period of time based on those specific aspects. People will be fighting back against restrictions, limitations, bosses, authority figures, and anything that they find to be oppressive or, just overly restrictive, regulating. Again, they're with Mars ruling Aries. Over the course of this Capricorn cycle, over the course of this next several months, while Jupiter's transiting the sign of Aries, what's going on with Mars is going to be really important because Jupiter is this expansive force. Jupiter is the sign of Aries. Aries is ruled by Mars. When a planet's in a sign, we have to look to the ruler of that sign because the planet in that sign is really like feeding energy into the ruler of that sign and whatever that ruler is doing. So Jupiter's presence in the sign of Aries is really expanding whatever is going on with Mars at any given time throughout the course of Jupiter's transit through Aries. Right now, Mars is retrograde in the sign of Gemini. Gemini is the media, it's news, it's information, and it's also our mind, it's our thought, it's words, communication, speech, movement, travel, short distance trips and stuff like that. Jupiter in the sign of Aries, this is inspired and motivated by our personal truth, by our personal belief, and our freedom to, Mars in the sign of Gemini, express our ideas, our thoughts, to travel without restriction. Anything interfering with our ability to move freely, to speak freely, to think freely is going to be met with some fierce resistance from people inspired by this warrior spirit energy over this next Capricorn cycle. So that is something that we are likely to see as well. This Mars energy driving a lot of what is motivating us to get ahead also. And it's perfect because Mars is actually at 11 degrees of Gemini for our new moon. And the past couple of days, I didn't realize that Mars was moving to this degree, but the past couple of days, as I've been talking about this energy in my two previous reports, which, like I said, are sort of building into this one, so you might want to watch those too. I've been talking about this dynamic of planets, this Capricorn new moon, sun squaring Jupiter in Aries with Mars and Gemini, and I've been feeling this specific symbol, I've been sort of seeing it in my mind, and now here we have it, Mars at this specific degree for this new moon, because it's just so fitting, and it really just vibrationally reminds me of the experience that this energy is also indicating. But it says Mars 11 degrees of Gemini, newly opened lands offer the pioneer new opportunities for experience. Even though that's a Gemini degree, there really is not a more Aries themed vibe. And for Mars ruling Aries, ruling the position of Jupiter right now in the square to the sun and the moon in the sign of Capricorn, about our goals and our plans and what we're working towards, and this growing into a better and more improved version of ourselves. It's specifically talking about an opportunity to be the pioneer in new opportunities and newly opened lands and going in this new direction. That's what Jupiter and Aries does. Aries is the sign of the pioneer. Aries is the sign of the risk taker and launching off in new directions, and the Lewis and Clark energy, you know what I mean? Seize the day, carpe diem. This is the Aries vibe. Mars at this degree, newly opened lands off the pioneer, new opportunities for experience. This is really telling us everything about how we can make the most out of this new moon energy. And if we are allowing ourselves to overcome our fears and to operate out of this inspired octave and follow our passions, we really have an unlimited opportunity to create and to seize these opportunities that are coming to us and to really be the pioneer of our own reality in a way that is going to be successful in the future because of the Capricorn energy involved as well. So I love Mars ruling the position of Jupiter in the square to the new moon at this degree for this occasion today, this astrological occasion that we have. I feel like it's the perfect symbolic description of this Jupiter in Aries energy that is taking us throughout May of 2023. So we're the pioneers, you guys, newly opened lands. Like I said, it's this Phoenix rising energy. We're rising from the ashes. Yeah, we may have the past, a lot of stuff may have burnt down behind us, okay, but we are looking at a fresh start right now, and universe wants us to move in that direction, okay? We are fired up to seize the day, to make something happen, and we have the energy, the focus, the motivation, and the work ethic to do it. One of the things that makes this such good manifestation energy and makes it just such a more supported Capricorn new moon and cardinal cycle than we normally have at this time of year, and especially also Jupiter in the square to the sun and the moon, the signs that it's happening in. because the square between Jupiter and the sun specifically, or the sun and the moon, Jupiter has no boundaries. Jupiter, it can take things over the top. It can cause us to like take things just like way out of bounds and way overspread ourselves, like spread ourselves way too thin, and just like not be able to reel it back in. Like things can get a little bit uncontrollable, and again, it can tend towards the more negative octaves of the side of Jupiter when we don't have the ability to practice self-discipline and practice self-restraint, and we just let ourselves get really carried away by an influx of like this expansive Jupiter energy. But when we're dealing with it in the context of the square and the Capricorn dimension as well, Capricorn is the exact energy that can reel that Jupiter energy in, that can, you know, help us not make the mistake of overlooking all of the small details because we're so focused on the big picture or the big plan that we end up, you know, building a house of cards for ourselves that has no firm, solid structure underneath. Like, this is the energy where, yes, we have all of this inspiration and all of this motivation, all of this fire and all of this passion and all of this like foresight and this grand vision, like, and all of this, but simultaneously we have the ability to focus and to concentrate and to plan and to, you know, see the like intricacies and the fine print and the details, and to like be more grounded and practical in our approach to making whatever it is come into fruition. It's really a very balancing and productive energy that we have going on. And we're talking about, again, Capricorn, this is a sign of goals. This is a sign of our career. This is a sign of success. This is public reputation. This is our public contribution generally. And it's our structure, its structures and its forms and its foundations. Jupiter in Aries, this is expansion. This is positivity. This is success. This is good fortune. This is, again, like the higher picture. We're being supported with successful endeavors as long as we can stay focused and really channel our energy into this concentrated effort. And again, like, it might not be something that just manifests overnight with the Capricorn dynamic involved as well, but it's something that like gradually is going to build and lead into something that is very successful or very productive or very beneficial or useful or rewarding in one way or another. So it's a very just productive, good energy that we have setting up, and it's supporting and helping us to make ourselves better again in one way or another. Now, that being said, there's also a really, really strong healing influence that is coming in with this Capricorn new moon. I actually can't even believe this. We have Chiron, the wounded healer teacher master archetype, stationing direct after a very long retrograde process on exactly the day of our Capricorn new moon. So not only, you know, is this Jupiter square to the new moon indicating this period of very divinely and successfully supported personal growth and personal improvement and successful personal development, but it's also indicating a very transformative process of healing that is also going on at this point in time. Now we're talking about Chiron. I mean, when a planet stations direct in the sky, its energy is like increased tremendously. So this is the wounded healer teacher master archetype. When we're dealing with the Chiron archetype, there is always an element of some type of wounding or some type of trauma or some type of more negative experience or victimization that is emphasized and that has to go on, because without this experience, we can't go through the process of healing it, overcoming it, you know, learning about it, transcending and transmuting the states that created it, and coming to a much greater state of self-mastery where we have overcome that experience and are no longer defined by it or controlled by it or a victim to it in any type of way. You know, we graduate and we don't have to go through those type of experiences anymore. This is as a result of what is called the hero's journey, which is a process of transmuting our states of victimhood into self-mastery through this process of internal education and gaining wisdom through experience and all of that type of stuff. But the hero's journey, the Chiron archetype, this is a very important theme of our overall greater transition into the age of Aquarius, because it's very synonymous to a process of self-actualization, which is also very necessary as we are moving into the age of Aquarius. And that is, I feel like, what is being so supported and so much like activated and initiated in this new moon cycle. Universe really wants us to get on board and start working toward this self-actualization process, and we're doing it by self-improvement and working towards our goals and healing in some pretty big ways. So, okay, that being said, you know, wounding, trauma, damage, victimization does make sense with the more lower octave energy polarity of things that I feel like could be manifesting as we go throughout the course of this new moon cycle. Remember, I said that there's some polarities going on here. On one hand, it's this, you know, this darkness and this fear and this insecurity and this doubt and these shadows from the past. And on the other hand, it's this divine inspiration and motivation and this warrior spirit to forge ahead and to overcome and to conquer. So we've got this healing energy and this Chiron energy that is playing into this as well. And it may bring up some, like I said, it may bring up some wounding. We do have this more warlike energy going on as well. So there could be some painful experiences that are very much going on throughout the course of this month. But we also have healing. We also have transcendence. We also have self-mastery. Remember, this is Chiron stationing direct after a very long retrograde. Chiron retrograde is this internalized process of healing. And we had a really significant retrograde season, which was bringing us to this point as well, helping us to really redefine a lot of various areas of ourselves and our psyche on this internalized level. And the healing has been going on a very deep and internalized level as well. And Chiron does rule, you know, the wounded healer, but he also rules the master teacher archetype as well. So we are also, on one hand, on the other octave of things, stepping into a greater sense of self-mastery throughout the course of this cycle. So it's like our wounding is coming up, right? Are we going to fall into the fear, into the victim state? Or are we going to realize that we've come to a point in time where we have overcome these issues within ourselves and therefore within our external reality as well? And we are done surrendering and we are ready to fight back and we're ready to stand in our truth and we're ready to forge ahead and be the pioneer in the newly opened lands, presenting all of these opportunities laying themselves before us at this period of time. So very strong emphasis on this healing energy as well and where we've come in our healing process, how far we've come, what we have left to transmute, and how much are we operating from this place of self-mastery at this point in time? How much are our triggers and our emotional wounds and our emotional reactions to things still controlling our responses to whatever is playing out in our circumstances and experiences? So again, it just keeps coming back to these two potentials and these polarities, and I guess seeing where we're at right now. It's so interesting because we also have the black moon right now at 29 degrees of Cancer. The black moon, you guys, although like I said, this is a black moon cycle that we are in, this is the last black moon cycle that we will have. This is we do have a whole lunar cycle of this black moon energy, but it's the last black moon in Cancer energy that we have, because pretty soon the black moon is going to be leaving Cancer, entering the sign of Leo, and we're going to be starting a brand new 9-month cycle of conquering and overcoming our shadows. And it's going to be a much different vibe than the black moon Cancer energy that we've been navigating. But it is going out with, like, you know, we do have this whole cycle that we're continuing to work through the rest of the Cancer issues over this period of time. And it's so funny because, like I was saying, 29 degrees of Cancer right now, where the black moon is a Greek muse weighing newborn twins in golden scales. So black moon herself, by her position right now, is also talking about twins, Mars and Gemini, really like ruling all this Jupiter energy, Jupiter being the planet in square to the new moon itself. Which way is it going to go? Light or dark? It's a spiritual battle going on, you guys, but it is, I mean, think about the position of the sun. 3 stained glass windows, 1 damaged by war. There was a hit, you know, there is some damage, but 2 still remain. We are still standing. Like, there may have been some destruction, but it has not ruined us, and we're going to continue to go on. And actually, we're going to continue to go on and be supported in some really big ways and lead to some really amazing new opportunities. We also have the Earth today, which is in a polar opposition to the sun and the moon, 2 degrees of Cancer. That Sabian symbol is a man on a magic carpet, observes vast vistas below. So we do have the perspective, you guys, like we are gaining this bigger overall view. Like our vision is pretty clear right now, and you know, we can see what's going on, and we kind of got a good idea of what we want to do and the direction that we want to go in. Like I said, we should use this new moon energy to really get straight about our intentions, about our plans, about what we want to work towards over the course of 2023 generally, even though we're not at the technical calendar new year yet because of just the way this energy is imprinting and the upcoming Mercury retrograde. I'm telling you, there's going to be some adjustments that we need to make, but as of right now, it is a very good window period of time to really like start focusing on what we're going to do to improve ourselves in various aspects of our lives. Universe is supporting the creative process in this situation. I mean, universe is supporting the destructive process as well, you guys, because really what is being destroyed right now is the 3D matrices of the past. And, you know, if we are acting as a more destructive force throughout the course of this cycle, universe is using us in that way as well to contribute to the destruction or the dissolving or the eroding of the past paradigm, this Pluto and Capricorn energy, this the long established rulership and control systems and hierarchies of the past that are no longer in alignment with the incoming age and humanity's process of self-actualization right now, which is a necessary part of that, because in order for universe to evolve right now in the way that it wants to, it requires us to evolve as well. And I do feel like, again, that is what this process is about. This is the energy for like the third or fourth time where the phoenix rises from the ashes, ready to face the day and go to new heights and new levels. The magic carpet, the man on a magic carpet observing vast vistas below. So, you know, it's a good cycle. It's actually a great cycle. There are not like real harsh aspects being indicated. The only stickiness, again, I feel like comes through our fears and whether we are still acting from a place of lack mentality and victimhood, or whether we have essentially graduated from that and we are no longer allowing our fears to control us. And instead we are taking back our power and we are overcoming and conquering our past limitations and finding the trust and faith and courage to take a risk and to move forward in alignment with a new version of ourselves that's being birthed and that is rising from the ashes at this point in time as well. So it's a phoenix cycle, you guys. We're not going to allow ourselves to get pulled back into the darkness. And it's a healing cycle too. We're being so supported in our processes of healing and growth, becoming better version of ourselves, self-improvement, successful, like working towards our goals and our projects. It will benefit us, and we're in Capricorn season 2, you guys. Capricorn is a more isolated and withdrawn energy. It will benefit us to really just like spend some time being more like in hermit mode throughout this period of time, not like feeling like we need to be out and about so much, not like worrying about what we're missing out on. We need to realize the value of what we're gaining by focusing our energy inwards and like working towards, again, like self-improvement. We're talking about the sign of Aries with Jupiter. This is all about the self. This is a focus on the self. This is an expanded focus on the self. And Capricorn, where the new moon is, this is about work. This is about improvement. This is about control and discipline as well. Practicing self-discipline, self-control, starting new schedules, new routines, new habits, like very, very, very good period of time for anything that is going to improve us in our lifestyle or our health or our image or our reputation or our appearance. Anything to do with us. This is a great time to start a new workout regimen. Anything to do with the physical body, the physical appearance, our career, our lifestyle, anything along those lines. Like, this is what's going to be supported for us. And this is what universe wants to spend our time focusing, not whatever shadows might be lurking in the background, trying to steal our attention and like slide us off course from following our dreams, because this is manifest your dreams energy, you guys, this cycle. So that's what I have to say, you guys. Let's grab a synchronicity card now. Let's grab one piece of advice. God, spirit, universe. What do we need to know as we go throughout the course of this cycle? What can benefit us? What's really going to help us to keep in mind as this energy unfolds for us and we move through this next couple of weeks? Okay, we've got 2 coming out, so we're going to read both of them. And I feel like this is such good advice considering the energy that we have going on. Now, the first one says, stop, don't argue. And with Jupiter in the sign of Aries, like I said, like, and Mars and Gemini, this is fights, this is conflict, this is anger, this is aggression. And it's also, you know, probably in a lot of cases some needless disputes because we're supposed to be focusing on our own self-improvement and not really getting involved with whatever drama other people have going on. So this one says, stop, don't argue. The Lord shall fight for you and you shall hold your peace. Exodus 14:14. Don't fight or argue. Rest in the assurance God is working for you on this matter. Relax, let go, and know a divine solution takes place. Harmony will return. Behave now as if it is already before you. So again, like, I feel like this is like telling us, we need, in order perhaps to stay out of the more negative octaves of this dualistic energy that is coming through, not fighting, not arguing, if we hear something that we disagree with, maybe just letting it go and not reacting to it. Maybe this is sort of a measure of where we're at in our process of transcendence and self-mastery that is also coming through with these Chiron vibes this cycle. The next card, it says, you are protected. And again, another piece of guidance to sort of counteract this black moon energy that may be kind of pulling us off of our center a little bit as we go through this cycle. For he shall give his angels charge over you to keep you in all your ways. Psalms 91:11. Know your guardian angel is with you always, protecting you from harm. Be assured he keeps you safe. When fear overwhelms you, read the 91st Psalm in its entirety and rest in the assurance that you are protected. So we're not getting into arguments and fights and disputes just because we might be feeling a little bit riled up inside with all of this feisty Aries energy. And we are not doubting the divine protection that surrounds us, and we are not allowing ourselves to be pulled into fears, worries, insecurities, doubts, shadows, past limitations, victim complexes, lack mindsets. That's what I have to say, you guys. And this is the guidance from God, Spirit, Universe as well. So there's your new moon in Capricorn report. I hope you guys liked it. I hope I was able to provide something for you that can help you throughout the course of this cycle, or enlighten you, or entertain you, or whatever. If you guys liked this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, you guys, share it with your friends if you think they would be interested, like this type of astrology content too. Leave me comments, you guys. I love your comments. I really appreciate you guys being here. Thank you so much for your presence. I love knowing how this energy is affecting you and playing out for you guys in your lives as well. I have a Facebook page, a Facebook group, a website, and some other social medias. Those are in my description box below if you're interested in any of that. And come back with me next week, you guys. We'll have a new week of astrology to talk about. I will be here. You should be here too. You don't want to miss it. Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy holidays. And I will see you on the other side of our Capricorn new moon. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.